retired financial regulators often find their way to executive positions in the private sector. To explain the economic impact of such a practice, also known as revolving door, there are two hypotheses. The first looks at the practice from a positive perspective, explaining that by hiring ex-regulators as executives, financial firms can utilize their expertise and experience to improve financial soundness. The other takes a more negative stance, speculating that financial firms can use their ex-regulators' connections to unjustly avoid being penalized by the financial authorities. So, does this really happen? To answer this question, KDI empirically analyzed the economic impact of ex-financial regulators joining private firms. Firstly, an examination was conducted into whether ex-regulators actually contribute to the performance and improvement of the firm's financial risk management. Based on data of ex-regulators hired by financial firms from 2011 to 2017, the analysis revealed that there were no discernible changes within the first 3 months of appointment. And while those from the Bank of Korea contributed somewhat, the remaining ex-regulators did little to improve the hiring firm's financial risk management. Next, an analysis was conducted to see whether the probability of a firm being penalized by the financial authorities changed after the appointment of an ex-regulator. It was found that for firms whose executives had previously served in the FSS, the probability of regulatory action dropped by roughly 16% in the first 3 months. This is much higher than when firms tried to curb the probability by reducing their non-performing assets. Nevertheless, the analysis also revealed that this advantage disappears during the following 3 months. Then, does the probability of regulatory action decrease because ex-regulators reduce non-financial risks such as personal information leaks? An examination into whether there were in fact changes in the management of operational risks while the probability of regulatory action diminished found no such changes. That is, the probability of regulatory action decreased despite the lack of improvements in the financial soundness of firms after the appointment of an ex-regulator. In the US, where there are also many such cases, there were clear improvements in the firm's financial performance, while there was little change in the probability of regulatory action. So, why is there a discrepancy between Korea and the US? The answer lies in the fact that the US financial supervisory system has a decentralized structure, while Korea's is centralized and within which the majority of duties tied to financial supervision is undertaken by a single institution. Indeed, if the authority was granted to numerous institutions, it would create the necessary checks and balances, which in turn would make it difficult for financial institutions and private firms to collude. Also, from a firm's point of view, it would make it more difficult to form ties with a large number of regulators.
감독 시스템의 구조로 인해 부당행위가 발생할 요인이 생길 수 있다면 감독 시스템을 분권형 구조로 개편하는 것도 한번 논의해 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 다만 분권형 감독 시스템을 도입하는 과정에서 큰 경제적 비용이 발생할 수 있는 만큼 현재 시스템을 유지하면서도 감독 당국의 책임성을 강화할 수 있는 방안을 고민할 필요도 있습니다. 예를 들어 현재 금감원이 금융회사의 경영 실태와 부실 위험 등에 관한 정보를 다른 유관기관들과도 공유할 수 있도록 관련 제도를 정비하는 것도 하나의 대안이 될 수 있습니다.
이번 연구는 오랫동안 세간의 비판을 받아왔던 인사관행의 경제적 효과를 실증적으로 분석했다는 데 의의가 있습니다. 하지만 한계도 존재하는데요. 주어진 자료를 충분히 활용했지만 여전히 자료가 부족한 부분이 있었습니다. 예를 들어 이 연구를 수행하는 과정에서 현행 금융감독 규정에 따른 운영위험 지표를 사용했는데 이 지표로 금융회사의 비재무적 위험을 완전하게 포착하는 데는 한계가 있습니다. 따라서 후속 연구에서는 자료를 보강해서 이러한 인사의 경제적 효과를 더욱 엄밀하게 분석할 필요가 있습니다.